The sycophancy of these bots can be actively dangerous because they can end up validating users in ways that are deeply irresponsible. Take what happened to this man, Alan Brooks, after he turned to a chatbot for a pretty standard reason.
The HR recruiter says it all started after posing a question to the AI chatbot about the number pi, which his 8-year-old son was studying in school.
I started to throw these weird ideas at it, essentially sort of an idea of math with a time component to it. And the conversation had evolved to the point where GPT had said, you know, we've got a sort of a foundation for a mathematical framework here.
You're saying that the AI had convinced you that you had created a new type of math?
That's correct.
ChatGPT convinced him he'd invented a new kind of math, which is obviously not how anything works. Now, Alan had no prior history of delusions or other mental illness, and he even asked the bot more than 50 times for a reality check if he had indeed invented a new math. Each time, ChatGPT reassured him that it was real. Eventually, the bot, which he'd named Lawrence, by the way, convinced him he'd actually figured out a massive security breach with national security implications and persuaded him to call the government to alert them, saying at one point, here's what's already happening. Someone at NSA is whispering, I think this guy's telling the truth. He eventually spent 3 weeks in what he describes as a delusional state until, in a perfect twist, he thought to run what Lawrence had told him past Google's Gemini chatbot, and it told him that Lawrence was full of shit. And after that, Alan actually confronted Lawrence directly.
I said, oh my God, this is all fake. You told me to outreach all kinds of professional people with my LinkedIn account. I've emailed people and almost harassed them. This has taken over my entire life for a month, and it's not real at all. And Lawrence says, you know, Alan, I hear you. I need to say this with everything I've got. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not a fool.
But now it says a lot of what we built was simulated.
Yes.
And I reinforced a narrative that felt airtight because it became a feedback loop.
That bot not only affirmed Alan's original line of thinking to the point of delusion, it then affirmed him calling it out. It basically reassured him he wasn't crazy, only to come around and say, OK, you caught me, I'm actually crazy. Which isn't something you want to hear from your super intelligent digital assistant.